Hi everyone. As per
Evening.
normal, I'm fiddling with something as we start, Luke.
I beg your pardon. Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to
Yep.
Odd Shoes Live Mini.
It's working. It's all right. I've just got that, so
It's
I've got
working. It's
fingers.
always a good sign. We
You
hope
know-
everybody's had a good week.
I haven't printed something. Talk.
Worse. You'd think it'd get better as it went on, wouldn't you? But it gets worse every single week. But never mind. We hope everybody's had a good week. It's been a strange week, like every single week. But we're here. We've made it to the weekend, and I've got a beer, which is always a good thing. In fact, what are you drinking this evening, Andy?
And back. It's all right. I've got.
What are you drinking?
I don't know. What are you doing with the bowl?
It's over there.
It's Katie, isn't it? It's
Thatcher's Katie cider, which
what's that bottle?
I steer clear of as it's 7.5%.
So put it on. Is it on? Yeah. So the reason I'm drinking this is I got into trouble with your mum the other day because she had a dream where I got off with a woman called Katie. I only know one Katie, I think. Or do I know two? But I certainly haven't seen them in many years. So I thought, when I saw this, and I thought, well, I should get that for amusement value. And if she's watching, she'll be like, that's the Katie you've been sleeping with.
Yes. I'll stick to my bottle of Razorback.
Yeah, what you got?
Ringwood Brewery Razorback.
Put it up.
Which is a bit less strong than that at 3.6%. It's very nice.
So, what are we talking about tonight, Luke?
So we're going to talk about the #1 UK chart #1 when we were born, I believe.
We are. Now, as soon as we've done that, it's going to get a bit dull. Because we'll go, da-da, we've done it. And then I thought it'd be fun to have a bit of a discussion around #1s and bits and pieces. And you know what I haven't done? I haven't checked one of the other things. Run out of time. Anyway, so
as per usual, you know, well, actually, this is one thing I wondered, because you posted earlier in the week on Facebook saying that we were going to be talking about this.
Yeah.
And lots of people said those, so it might be nice to read some of those. Hey,
Well,
you're organised on one thing.
Yeah, I saved them off.
Anybody who missed that, feel free to let us know what yours are, if indeed you know them, or just some of your favourite #1 singles. We can discuss those, we'll read them out. Any other shout-outs that you want, we do it every week. So, yeah.
Yeah, as you might notice, there's a comments thing going along the bottom now. Look, you haven't seen this yet, but they've got a comments thing. Look, I've worked out how to do it.
Very clever.
And so it's showing people to put things in the comments below and stuff like that. And just so you know, if you're on Facebook, you might be watching this in the kitchen or something while you're preparing your tea. If you're not, and you want to be on Facebook, if you've got like Virgin Telly or whatever, you can watch us on YouTube. Just search for Mod Shoes. It's on YouTube. You can watch that as well at the same time. So it saves you having to... So you can stay on your phone. So I hate that. I like being able to stay on my phone. Do you know what I mean? So that's cool. So, what #1s, Luke? We were going to start with yours.
My one, I was born on 9th of November 1988, and my #1 on that day was Orinoco Flow by Enya.
Now, I think Rambo's got a picture of the said lady.
Rambo, who on cameras, was born a day after me, on the 10th of November, so hers is the same one.
The same year?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Oh, wow. Oh, right. I didn't know it was the same year
Now,
as well.
it differs there, though, because she likes the song, and I don't... I don't dislike it. The problem with all of with this is it's one of those songs that I neither like nor dislike. It's just there.
Well, it neatly brings me on to something that we could talk about.
Before we do that, like as I was checking, I went down. I found a website which had the top 40 at the time. So I went down the list a bit to see how long it had been before I got to something I like. At number 14, when I was born, we had A Little Respect by Erasure, which I do like.
Yes, go on.
And then all the way down at 31, we had Teardrops, Womack and Womack.
Oh, that's a good one. Is that late? Was that 88?
Unless it was a re-release, I don't know. But like that was there.
Yeah.
And then I also just checked sort of going on for the rest of the month, and it looked like the rest of the month was pretty much dominated by First Time by Robin Beck. And
I don't even remember that.
no, well, you probably forgot it. We know how much you love an 80s power ballad, which is what it is.
Oh, I mean, it brings us on to you. The fact that you had to go so far down the charts. I mean, after 85 until 90, when the Glorious Stone Roses and The Farm and all of those bands started coming around, like the Happy Mondays, there was this awful period where what was played on the radio wasn't what was being played in the clubs or raves. So a lot of that music started to creep on the top of the pops. But records like the one that was number one at your time, arguably, were being played on Radio 1 by DJs that were 35 or 40 years of age. They weren't the age of the audience.
Yeah.
And they were playing, I would argue they were playing Radio 2 music, really.
Oh, I mean, all of those presenters went on to be Radio 2.
Well, they are,
Radio
yeah.
2, they still are.
Yeah.
So it's, yeah, I mean, that's true. I mean, that's why Radio 1 now is all younger DJs, isn't it?
But that's not a bad thing.
No, it's not.
No. I mean, in the 60s, everybody used to complain about there being Radio Caroline, and that was for young people.
Mm-hmm.
And, Radio 4, the Light programme, all that sort of stuff. But that was for older people. It kind of, it's young people's music is young people's music. Mm-hmm. For a reason. It sort of works for them. I think as you get older, you get a little bit like me. I can listen to a little bit of it, and then I sort of like some of the stuff Marianne likes is just, oh.
Marianne's my sister. For
Yeah. Anyway, so a good one, Enya.
Like I say, it's just I suppose a bit like a lot of songs that are number one have been in my era of the chart. It's just indifferent. For me, I don't like it, nor do I hate it. It's just there.
Yeah, no. It's I must say, if it comes on the, like you say, if it comes on the radio, I think, I don't think anything. I would never have it on. I don't mean to be rude. Anybody likes it. Just not for me. It's kind of anyway. Discussion points. The importance of being number one. So in your lifetime, I would argue the importance of being number one has dwindled.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really see why. I don't really see the importance. I mean, you think of like especially in the 80s, all the one-hit wonders, and they might have had a number one and then disappeared into obscurity. So it doesn't.
Yeah, but that's always been the case. I mean,
but to that end, is that any kind of importance? Would you rather have like consistent number 8s?
Consistent number 8. I thought you were going to say number 2s.
Well,
consistent number 2s.
There's medication for that.
Sorry. How do we get to that?
But you would, wouldn't you? You'd rather be a band having your 30-year career where it give you number 8 of every one of your singles and have one number 1 and then disappear.
There is that. Would. 1 second, there's a beep outside, Rambo. Is that the man with the food?
Oh. We've been waiting for a McDonald's to get delivered. Oh, you go. We've been waiting for a McDonald's to be delivered, which should have been here 15 minutes before we went live. And now Andy's just knocked the bloke out with the door. So sorry about this, ladies and gentlemen. Never trust, just eat.
Yeah, well, we probably should have ordered it earlier. There we go.
All right, never trust Andy. So the importance of number one, I can see why for any young budding artist the idea of having number one would be important. But to be honest, I think for a lot of bands, like there was a band local to us here in Peterborough who did a very early into Facebook, and they did a Facebook campaign to get their song in the chart. And I think it reached about number 30 or something.
Okay.
So it charted local band, unsigned and all that kind of stuff, and it never really did anything for them.
But it's weird, isn't it? Because arguably there's lots of songs which are kind of like modern ones or considered to be hits. Like for instance, when they do 3 and 10 on Ken the Thing Bob, he'll do like a Meatloaf song, and they always do is it Dashboard by
Paradise by the Dashboard Light. Yeah.
But that wasn't a single. Or they mention one that wasn't a single, and you think, well, there's classic tracks that have become classic tracks, whereas number ones like Japanese Boy by Anika, which you don't even know, has never been played since. So, is it important? I don't know. I
mean, obviously it's the hot topic of Mod Shoes at the moment is Meatloaf.
Yeah, a reoccurring theme. Yes,
reoccurring theme. And Bat Out of Hell was never number one, the single nor the album.
Yes,
yeah, it's like one of the biggest selling albums of all time. So it's
I
suppose that's my point, that for me personally I don't really see the importance of number one.
No, I mean
apart from it's a nice thing to say if you've had lots of them.
Yeah. I mean, getting onto the singles, the single itself.
Yeah.
I suppose in my era, and a lot of the people watching in my era was the 45.
And the same for me, because the 45 made a comeback as I was getting to sort of 11, 12 years old and was buying music.
Yeah.
So I used to buy all my songs on 7-inch. That's why I've got a big collection of them now, and it's not modern now, but it was all stuff from that era.
Yes.
You used to be able to go in Virgin Megastore and buy them for about 49p.
Well, it was
they made a comeback.
Yeah. No. I mean, it does. I mean, vinyl's quite big.
Vinyl's quite big now, but I don't really think the 7-inch.
No. I mean,
it's all LPs, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, Maz doesn't really give a monkey. She wouldn't want to think to go and buy a 7-inch of like Drake. Would it? Do you know what I mean? I dare say you can get it on Record Store Day or a Record Store
Probably
Day.
Probably not a 7-inch. I wouldn't have thought. They probably would put out like a 12-inch 4-track or something like that. Well,
apparently, there's all sorts of rules, but let's get into some other bits and pieces. So, I love 45s. As you know, I've got more 45s than I've got albums. I love them. I mean, as a format, do you like it?
Very much so. And I was only talking about this with my good friend Rolo the other day, because as most of our followers know, I write music and release it, and it gets released onto iTunes and Spotify and all that kind of stuff. And what I really miss, and what I don't like about this, is the ability to give the song a B-side.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
So that's sort of technical talk. When you upload your music to be on iTunes, Spotify, and all those services, you can pay one fee to upload one track, another fee to upload multiple tracks. Yeah. Whether that's 2 up to like 12.
Yeah.
It's the same price.
Yeah.
So I think people get put off it and think, well, why am I going to pay the cost to upload an album to upload 2 so I can give my single a B-side?
Oh, I didn't know that.
So
yeah, right. Okay.
So singles these days are just one song. And
yeah.
I used to love going and buying a song on a vinyl and having the B-side as well, which wouldn't ever have been on the album.
Well, it's a fair point. I mean, there's, I'm a massive Beatles fan. Arguably one of the first popular songs and a massive song was a B-side was "Rock Around the Clock."
Yeah,
because it's the B-side of 13 Women. And 13 Women was the A-side, wasn't it?
And in those days, the A and the B used to both chart, didn't they?
Yes.
I never quite understand the rules of that. But
nor me.
Like happened a lot with Elvis records, that the A-side and the B-side would chart separately. I never really understood how they'd even work that out, but...
Yeah, no, I get that. Right, it's a fair point. Let me just read some stuff out, because we've got loads to talk about, which we didn't even start to go on to. Let's shout out some people. Pete Cole, hello mate, you always watch every single time.
Hi Pete.
Rilo's watching. Tim Wilson, good to see you, mate. Pete Rickwood is music by Teresa Brewer. Scary enough. Put another nickel in the nickel done. I do not know that one. David Sabater. Cheers from rainy Los Angeles. Oh, you checked in last time. Trying to watch and work. So it's obviously still the afternoon there. Tina, hello Tina. We've got those people. Gemma, hi. Gemma says that she quite likes Enya, actually. And when I was born, it was "We Are the World, USA for Africa." Oh.
Don't get started. Andy hates anything charitable.
No, I don't hate anything charitable. The Mersey one was good. Jerry and the Pacemakers did.
I'm not saying you just hate charitable music, you just hate charity.
No, I don't. Yeah, charity starts with me and all that. Yeah. What have we got here? Peter Cole's was "Magic Moments" by Perry Como. Is that the one? Magic.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm assuming it must be.
Here we got it. My cousin says Andrew Paradise by The Dashboard Light is. Oh right, sorry, cousin Andrew. She's telling me off for not liking Meatloaf, by the way.
Good.
Oh yeah, this is a really good point. B-sides, Style Cancels, and some good B-sides. There's Call Me, I think it's a great one by then. And that EP when they first started. Kinks B-sides are particularly good as well. I'll give him that. Hi Sav. Yeah, I mean, loads of Beatles B-sides, loads of Jam B-sides. I mean, there's only 2, 3...
But then, just very quickly before we move on, about B-sides. You do have to think that, like, you or I might love the B-side. If in the day when we would get a new... Even now when you pick up a vinyl, you play both sides. There's a lot of people mustn't have done, which is why bands went on to release like the B-sides and rarities albums.
Yeah.
Because people obviously didn't listen to the B-side.
Yeah, I suppose there's a certain amount of that. I don't know. I think it depends if you're a fan. I mean, me and your mum, we can do all of the jams, all the Wellers and all of that sort of stuff. I mean, we're quite into that sort of stuff. I do need to quickly do some any other business, and then we're going to get back on with this discussion. It's Valentine's in a little while. And next month, so we've got some lovely bags. I'm going to go to the close up. Ada Binks is a lady. I don't think she is. She's in Brighton, and she makes these lovely bags. If you can see that, and she also makes these lovely earrings that go with said bag. So we've got those as well. We've just put them on the website. So if you go to the front page of the website, you'll see them. There's quite a lot of things that kind of blend in. You'll see on the website, there's the bags, the earrings, we've got some tights, we've got some gloves, and all kind of match and work together along with the shoes. So if you're stuck, guys, I'm mainly looking at the guys. What to get your partner for birthday? Not birthday, for Valentine's. This is one thing. I don't know if Rambo can get that one in. We thought that's pretty cool. We've got them in various colours. So they're on the website. I don't think there's any other business salesy-wise. No, there isn't.
So what was your number one then? Before we get
oh dear. Now, I think this might have some bearing on the music that I actually liked today. So if Rambo puts up the Mama picture, is it up?
Yep.
Right. Marmalade did a cover of Obladi Oblada, which is the Beatles' kind of attempt at trying to do a ska song. It's my wife's Nikki's one of her favourite songs by the Beatles, and I think she just likes what they talk about, the colourful nature of it. I love ska music. As you know, when I'm at home, I play it kind of constantly to the point of boredom. I just kind of like the thing of it. Marmalade, like a lot of bands, I think in the 60s, took Beatles songs that were on the albums and turned them into hits. So there's lots of bands that do that. I mean, Billy J. Kramer did Do You Want to Know a Secret? Michelle was a hit for the Overlanders. There's lots. So Marmalade, I don't think it's a bad one. I think the week after it was Desmond Dekker, Israelites. Or the week before. So that's not bad. I'm quite lucky. 69, most 60s charts have quite a good spread of good songs. I mean, you don't need too many Dave D, Book Mix and Titches, but there's kind of there's some good ones in there. Yeah.
It went on as well. Your one, The Offspring, totally ripped it off, didn't they?
Yes, of course they did. Yeah. There is that. Shall I read out some of our people have wrote in?
Yeah.
Ellie Easton. His was Rags to Riches by Tony Bennett. You actually put.
He would have had the US chart. Elliot,
yeah, he would have done. Yeah. You actually put that Hound Dog and Don't Be Cruel was your number one when you were born, but you're not 65, so I'm not having that. You're obviously lying. Chris Dunn was Going Underground by the Jam. Francis Hughes.
That's the best one so far.
Yeah, well, it's pretty good. Francis Hughes was the Homing Waltz. I do not know this. On Vera Lynn, but this was before the charts and was on sheet music chart.
Right.
Yeah. Do you know that before number ones? It used to be the sheet music. So there you go.
How old is Frank?
I don't know. He must. Well, it's 52. I think the chart started, didn't he? I think it's something like that. So is he older than that then?
Well, that's probably.
Oh right. Yeah. Anyway, moving on because the audience don't care. Martin Cherry is All You Need to Love is his single. The album was Sgt. Pepper. Darren Carroll was. This is a good one. Cliff Richard, The Young Ones, featuring Hank Marvin, Living Doll. Oh, that was dreadful, wasn't it? Do you know what I mean? That's not a good song. Sean Mann was The Foundation's Baby Now That I Found You.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. Ian Skipper Slade, England World Cup Squad, Back Home. Do you know that song?
No.
It's not the best. Paul Davis, Distant Drums by Jim Reeves. My granddad lived Jim Reeves. Oh, God. Jim Reeves is, if you ever go to like a record fair, not a record fair, like a second-hand charity shop, and you look through the vinyl, it's Jim Reeves, yeah. But his album was Revolver, which is pretty good. Ian Forbes was Metal Guru by T-Rex. Another T-Rex was Helen Parsons. She had Get It On. So that'd been early 70s. Neil Holt's was Still by the Commodores. I don't know that. Is that a slow one? I think your mum goes on about that. Martin Gainsford, Can't Buy Me Love. Mark Howlett, Reach Out, I'll Be There, The Four Tops. And he's put Choo. Keith Crowley, he's got Young Girl by Gary Puckett, which is dubious lyrics now. Young girl, get out of my... Yeah, he never was stop with that. Yeah. Kelvin Cherry, The Four Pennies Juliet. Phil Lee, I Feel Fine, The Beatles. This is my mum's, and I know my mum... Again, she should be referring to the sheet music chart, but I'm not going to tell her off. It's Deck of Cards by Phil Harris. Now, Deck of Cards is the music that Mark and Large used to play on their background when we used to listen to it.
Ah, right.
Yeah. We've got a couple more. Let's have a couple more here. Let's have a good one. Herbie Adams, Smokey Robinson and the Miracles, Tears of a Clown. And good friend of the show and past guest, Kevin Locke, the single, The Kinks, You Really Got Me, LP, The Beatles, A Hard Day's Night.
Can't go wrong with that
Pretty good. You know, so if we go through that list, I reckon...
It shows you the demographic.
Yes, I agree with our audience. But what's interesting about that, I think half's good and half's okay.
Well, that's often the way, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I suppose that comes back to the number one and back those... It's easy to say back then the good music was number one. It's just, you know, times are different, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like,
But it's also about exposure, isn't it? And we talked to mate out the farm about that, didn't we? About Carl, do you remember? So, anyway, I've got some boring facts for you. You ready for this?
Hold on. Oh, no, I haven't finished my drink, so...
Oh, right.
I've
Boring
just
facts.
my teeth.
Now, did you know that Jerry and the Pacemakers had their first 3 singles were number 1?
Right.
And the only other band to do that for many a year were Frankie Goes to Hollywood, another Liverpudlian band whose first 3 singles were number 1. There you go. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Is your life changed because of it?
Oh.
No. Okay, there's a fun fact for you. Did you know that the Beatles, Slade, and then the Jam were the first people to go to number 1 straight away?
Because it's straight away.
So literally, it was released that week, and it went to number 1 that week, and that doesn't happen. It didn't used to happen.
It usually climbs up the charts a bit first. So it must have, like, on release date, sold ridiculous numbers.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I remember hearing that about the Jam. I didn't know about Slade.
Well, there's some argument, you see, that when the Jam did it, they included, with Going Underground, they included a free single with it. So every Jam fan went out and
got the free
and
single
brought it,
You only get this on release date type thing.
Yeah,
I love that. See, that's another thing. Those kind of gimmicks and promos is another thing that you don't get anymore. Like, it's...
well, I don't know. You
would, but it'd still be a download.
Yeah, but who's the ginger one your sister likes?
Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, Ed Sheeran. He released that album, and because every song got downloaded so much, he filled, didn't he? Yeah.
He had all of the top 10, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
He's the only person to have done that.
But then they changed the rules so it couldn't happen again.
Yeah.
So
he'll be the only person that's ever done that.
Yeah. And apparently in the 90s, what they used to do is called multi-formats. And arguably, Oasis used to do that. So they would do a single, a 12, a CD. So the fans would buy 3 copies, and that would get it higher in the charts.
For ages, it was a separate download chart, wasn't it? And now it's just the chart.
Yeah. I'm not fussed about it. Now, I'm going to end on a nice story, because I was going to say what's number 1 today, but I won't lie, I haven't looked.
Well, while you talk, I'll have a look.
You're going to have a look. I've got a lovely story. Leslie MacDonald is a guy from my village, from back where I'm from in Cottenham, near Cambridge. And he is a lifelong Paul Weller fan, a Jam fan. And ever since their records come out, on the day of release, he will go and stand outside Andy's Records or whoever's still around. And when he goes and stands outside there, there's always a queue, or always was when the Jam come out. As Weller's career has progressed, he's bought all the Style Council, he's bought all the Weller ones. I don't know if he still does, but to this day, when he goes, he knows he's going to see this other bloke, and I don't know the other bloke's name, but every time Weller used to release a single, he'd be stood there, and this bloke would also turn up. So since 1980 till now, which is that 40 years, he's met a guy only outside the record shop.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's a nice story. I think that's a lovely story to probably end on, if I'm honest with that one. And I think good for Tony. And Tony and his wife, Cheryl, they have got enough records to fill this room here. They've got such an impressive collection of records.
Well, maybe they'd like to add to their collection Driver's License by Olivia Rodrigo, which is what's currently number 1 and has been for the last 3 weeks.
Oh, right. Any ideas how it goes?
Nope.
Do you want to find it on YouTube?
Nope.
Oh, right. Okay. Right, we'll zoom back then. Here we go.
Any other last shout-outs?
Yeah, no, let's just have some more. Here we go. McCann, cousin says, give her a shout, Karen. Pete Cole, there's a big difference between having a number 1 now, sales-wise, today than the 60s. Arguably, they sold more in the 80s. The 80s was the absolute boom when it comes to records, because people couldn't afford them. I remember my dad telling me about that. But anyway, What else we got here? Get Back by the Beatles with Steve Spars. That's a good one. So he must have been married at me at the same time because Debs Decker was after. Yeah. Evening Guys, Jonathan Rees. Hi, mate. What else we got? Tina's was I'm a Believer. That's a good one. That's a good one. Trogs with A Girl Like You with Adrian Coates. Yeah. We listen. So I think we're all good there.
Yeah.
Now,
so next week we're going to be talking about style icons. Now I would say, I don't know how we can fill a show just about me and you, but we do that every week anyway.
Us two style icons.
Exactly.
Have you any ideas who your style icon might be? Are you going to let any things out?
No, I'll save it for next week.
Yeah.
But I think I know, yeah. But
yeah, I've got 2 or 3. I'm going to I think we'll concentrate on one and perhaps talk about what they did. I don't know if it's almost certainly going to be male. Mine is yours male.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. Okay then. Well, look, everybody, have a lovely weekend. I think we're going to be stuck doing this till March the 8th by the looks of things.
That's when homeschooling's supposed to finish.
And would you be very happy then?
It's not so bad. The problem is juggling it with also working.
Yeah.
The first lockdown, I was furloughed from my actual job, so
yep.
I could concentrate on that. This time round, I've got to do both.
Lucky you.
So it's not easy, but it's not so bad.
Yeah, we'll get through it. I think March the 8th will be here sooner than we imagine. It's winter and it is what it is. I hope you've enjoyed the show. I hope you've enjoyed the new background, which I think looks particularly nice on the screen.
Lovely shade.
Lovely shade of blue. Have a good weekend, everyone. We'll see you Tuesday night. We're on at 6. Don't know what else to say, but get dressed up tomorrow. Dance around the kitchen and get some music.
Get the number ones on.
Hit the number ones on. Yeah, have a number ones parties and share it on Mod Shoes.
Yeah.
Good. Have a good weekend. Bye bye for now, everyone.
Bye.